All right, we're recording, officially recording. So hopefully those of you who are able to get on the call, catch this on the replay because it's really important. We want to kind of set the tone for what this is about, and it's not supposed to add any extra stress or additional, it's an additional group, but it's really for pure accountability because growing your business is completely a numbers game. And no matter how good or awful your social media is, even though you always want to keep improving it, because my social media is definitely, I'm continuing to work on that. And I'm still able to hit numbers because I talk to a lot of people. And that's what oh, Jennifer just texted me. She's like, I'm golfing with the kids. I forgot. Okay. Anyway, so that's, so really it comes down to, yes, you can improve on all those things in your posting schedule. We certainly recommend that. But at the same time, it's a big numbers game. And it doesn't have to be as scary. And Sarah and I were talking about, like, I think we need to break down what each column can look like. Because when you look at coach invites, I think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, 7 coach invites. And it really doesn't have to be that difficult, and what you can count as a coach invite, and what does a coach invite look like, and what types are there. And same with customer invites. What do you count as a customer invite, and what is encompassed in that? It doesn't have to be all these cold invites or anything like that. But we're going to kind of go through that so that you understand that it doesn't have to be that hard to hit lots of numbers. It just takes a good hour of your time, focused energy, and completely zoned in and getting those messages cranked out for the day. Or if you're a person like, I know Sarah Bry you work in like clumps, don't you, Sarah? So you might not message someone for 2 days or message anyone for 2 days, but then all of a sudden you do a big blast. It's whatever works for you, but making sure that you hit those numbers. So I think we're going to make Sunday night the cutoff, Sarah. Were we thinking?
Yeah.
So it'll be like,
the week starts on Monday.
Yeah, like
New week, yeah.
We would,
Hi guys.
Hi.
Sorry.
Monday morning when we get up, we look at it and see who's in it, and you have to hit the targets. And part of that is to separate the men and women from the girls and boys, right? Because we got men in this group, Carl, right? Carl looks stressed. You should have a drink in your hand. I've got a cup.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. It's really because I think the people who have wanted to move their business forward but have struggled, it's nothing about you. It's just doing those activities. It's what it really is. It's all it is. It doesn't have to be that complicated. So did I miss anything as far as, so you got to hit all the targets. And we'll go through, we're going to go through all of those targets, and then we'll go from there. Unless I missed
what I like in just a week, just to piggyback off you, Sarah, it brings to light what you're not doing.
Yeah.
So, or what you're doing well. So for me, new conversations, no brainer. But it really helped me get focused so that on Saturday, I looked at that spreadsheet. Oh my gosh, I have to do my coach invites, and I spent my pocket of time, and that's what I focused on. I like that; it gives me a focus every day. And my goal is to hit that column every day, and I update it daily. But if you don't, then you know at the end of the week where you need to put your energy. Because I might be wrong, but my personally sponsored coaches, I think, spend a lot of time in challenge groups, and they don't spend a lot of other activity. And there's nothing wrong with being in challenge groups, but that's not going to build your business either. That'll help create lifers. So I like that piece of it. It brings to light what you're not doing.
And it will help us too when you come to us and you're like, I don't know why this isn't working. Then we can look at the numbers and really break it down. Danielle, what did you want to say?
So I think maybe I did this wrong. So when you had like the numbers up top, I thought we were entering in what our goals were for the week, like you had suggested to those. So do I enter in throughout the week in that spreadsheet then?
Yep, those numbers at the top are the numbers we want you to hit because we know
Okay.
that those numbers will rank advance you and will improve. Your business will move forward. Period. If you do those.
Okay,
numbers.
so I went ahead and I thought I had to fill that out, so I went ahead and put some numbers already in. So I'll go ahead and take those out because I thought that I was supposed to enter them.
Danielle's rocking it. She's killing it. No, so you can update. I update mine every day. Otherwise, I'll forget. You know.
That makes sense. I thought I was supposed to put in what I was projected on doing instead of what I actually. Okay.
That's why we're doing this call to make sure everything's clear.
Nope, thanks. That makes sense.
Oh, Chris, you did the same thing. So good. I'm glad we cleared it up. So, with that being said, highly recommend a tracking system like Teamsy, Asana. I do my connection builder. Teamsy and my connection builder are $29.99 per month. It's well worth my money, but you can certainly figure out a tracking system for you because it tells when I am messaging, I enter it in immediately. And then at the end, it will say, you did X amount of invites, you did this many coach invites, you did this many. And so I just take those numbers and plug it into the spreadsheet. It just takes a couple of seconds. And tracking is game changer because it helps you with your follow-ups. And the follow-ups are where your invites are going to happen. It's not always going to be, occasionally you might have a cold invite here and there or a donut, as some people call them, but a lot of the time it's going to be the second, third, fourth, fifth follow-up that is going to be your invite or your follow-up from an invite. And that's when, because most time people don't want to buy first time you talk to them. It just is the way it. Yeah, Carl Deichler called it a donut because I don't know why. It was like throwing out a donut. It's kind of like a cold invite, like throwing out a donut to save someone. I don't know. Not a donut.
He equated it to someone who's warming up for a baseball. They put that donut on their back, and it's just a warm-up. It just warms them up.
So I'm wrong.
And then they take it off, and then they do the real thing. So those donuts are kind of like, oh, I'm just going to throw this out there, and it's getting me warmed up for my real invites. I think that's how he explained that. Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen. So we'll go through the columns and talk about them. I always forget how to share the dang screen. Oh, share screen. Okay. There we are. I have too many things open, of course. Ava, can you let Daddy and the dog in? They're locked out. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Hey, guys. Ava or Jason, let Daddy in. He's knocking on the door. Let Daddy in. Okay. So you see our sheet. Obviously, you guys have all seen it. So this right here, your invites for a week, you want to hit 7. So if I put 7 here, it will turn blue. That means we know that you've hit it because we're not going to go and read all the numbers. If you hit 20, it's going to turn blue. That means you hit your target for the week. Same thing with all of them. It will work that way. I don't know if these ones will turn blue. No. We are assuming you guys are doing these things, but it's still good for accountability. But these first 4 columns are the columns we really, really want you to focus on. Of course, we want you to be doing the personal development, the Shakeology. Those need to be givens, but still fill it out just for your own accountability. But again, the first 4 columns are the ones you want to focus on. So I can get started, and Sarah, you just like pipe in with different things or adding on. But let's talk about coach invites. We put 7 in because that obviously averages 1 per day. Go get Daddy. Dog just got out of the pool. We put that because it's a solid 1 per day. What can a coaching invite look like? Well, many times my true coaching invites are from current challengers that are active in the challenge groups, challengers that are getting lots of results, people that love the product. You can definitely talk to them about actively coaching. The other way to invite to coaching that I call an invite to coaching is after you sell a challenge pack, and assuming they just bought a challenge pack, didn't sign up as a coach, a couple of weeks in, you want to touch base with them and ask them how they like their Shakeology or their performance line or whatever they're drinking. And if they're like, I love it, then that's an open door for you to talk about coaching, or at least the discount option for them. Now, some coaches don't like the discount option. I personally love it because you are creating lifers. You're creating people that they're serious about it. Well, you need to be ready because I'm on a call right now. Sorry. And you're creating people that are truly invested in it if they are drinking or if they're using it for the coaching. I'm sorry, for the discount. The other option is obviously when someone shows interest in a challenge or in a group or whatever, you can always offer those two options right then as well. And I count that as a coaching invite. When they're like, yeah, I'm ready to sign on board, then you say, here's your two options. You can sign up as a challenger and join the group, and you would just be a challenger and pay full price for everything. Or you might consider signing up for the discount option, because then after this purchase, everything will be 25% off, and blah, 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 blah. I count that as a coaching invite. Are there any others that you can think of, Sarah? Any other ways to approach coach invites?
Did you talk about, I was looking at our calendars. So did you talk about when you even sell a challenge pack, you should always present that opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you sell, yes, always present it to them. And they might say no. Like just recently, a friend of mine just bought Shakeology and Daily Sunshine. And of course I was like, listen, you can buy one and then sign up as a coach and get the second one 25% off. She's like, well, no, not right now, but let me see how I like it. If I continue ordering it, I'll sign up again, or I'll enroll then. So I always offer it to start, but I will follow up with her in a few weeks after they've drank it for a couple weeks and say, listen, how are you liking it? Do you think we're going to continue? And talk to her about it then, and then talk to her about if she wants to coach as well. So, that's a couple of ways, but always present it in the beginning for sure, because you'd be surprised. I would say about 50% will say, yeah, I'll do that, because really there's no risk. Even if they sign up, enroll as a coach, and then they're like, I hate the Shakeology stuff, which very, very rarely happens, they can cancel at any time. And I'm telling you, if you're pushing to get to Emerald, you can get it like that, super fast. If you're hitting Success Club each month, there is no reason why you couldn't hit Emerald very quickly. So, I don't know.
The only I do, so when we have these coach coffee talks, and I don't know how many people are invited to those, but I will look at people who aren't even clients yet, but are on my dream team, and I invite them. Mm-hmm. I'll invite them to listen in on that coach coffee talk. And I'll just say, hey, I don't know if you've ever thought about being a virtual health and fitness coach or doing what I do, but I would love to have you on my team. And if you wouldn't mind learning more, I have this coach coffee talk coming up where we share about what we do. And if anything, I would love your feedback, because I just value your opinion. And I throw it out there. Mm-hmm. That's the only other time I really invite, is when I have people who are already into health and fitness, or already posting and working out, but maybe not affiliated with Beachbody, or already have a transformation. I'll just invite them to the opportunity.
I do that too.
Because I truly do want them on my team.
Right. No, I do that too. If I'm talking with somebody and they're like, yeah, I love health and fitness, and I really love doing XYZ. And I usually kind of, my little one-liner is, oh, that's awesome. Have you ever considered making money doing that, or doing what I do? And oftentimes they'll say, what is that? What do you mean? And then I'll explain, oh, I'm a virtual health and fitness coach, blah, 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 do a little blip on it. And then I'll invite them into a coach coffee talk. Okay, sorry. I swear it's like prime time for everyone to text me. So speaking of, I'm glad you brought that up, Sarah, is, Sarah and I have talked about, our teams, All Stars and Ignite Your Soul, being consistent with these coach coffee talks, because truly, for even us to move our businesses forward, we need to be having these on the regular. They need to be on our calendar regularly. So we've already planned 2 dates in June, want to do 2 a month so that we always have one to invite people to. And currently we've just used the group that we've done it the last 2 times in, and just deleted out the posts and redone them. And so we want to make sure that you guys all know about it. And if you want to participate in it, we highly encourage, if you are going to invite people to that, we want you to be involved with it, because people want to see your face. You know, I found that they're more likely to watch something that I'm talking in than someone that they don't know. So, but yeah. And then, okay, so let's move on to the next column. We've talked about that, but we'll talk about the calendar in a minute. So customer invites, 20 per week. Honestly, okay, I'll tell you how my system goes, and Sarah, you can talk about how your system goes. A lot of my people are, all of my people, unless it's like someone at Jason and Ava's school that approach me, which happens occasionally, are from my like page and Instagram. And the way that I engage in conversation, so I'm always talking to strangers. I'm never really talking to people that I know anymore. In the beginning of my first year or two, it was all people I knew, but now, so how I do it is I'm messaging all my likes every single day. 50% of the people respond back, and I engage in a conversation like, hey, are you in a health and fitness journey too? And usually they'll respond, yeah, but I'm really struggling with my nutrition. And then I'll say, oh, so what's going on with your nutrition? Tell me more. And they'll say, you know, I have this sweet tooth and blah, 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 and I really want to lose 20 pounds. And I'll say, oh my gosh, I totally have something in mind for you. Would you be open to hearing what, or something along those lines? I'd say, you know, I have like a virtual group where we all do the same thing together and to help you stay in line, or something along those lines. And then I'll talk about 2B mindset, for example. Or if someone's like, I don't even know where to start, but I want to, you know, then you might talk about the whole package, or like the 21-day fix is always a great starter program. You know, you kind of go from that. So I always get tons of invites each day because of that. I'm inviting my new likes all the time after a few exchanges back and forth to create a little bit of a rapport. So I do that. The other way to invite is when people like or comment, especially on like a fitness post, you definitely want to engage in a conversation with them. I'm not saying message them right away and say, hey, you want to join my group? You might message them and say, hey, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. You know, is this something that interests you? Or were you just, I think Sarah's words were, or were you just supporting me? That's a really good way to put it. And then if they comment on, obviously that's a different conversation. Other ways that I make connections with people is, and I'm not super consistent with it yet because I'm still I'm so ingrained in Facebook that I'm slowly starting to get myself on Instagram more active with new follows and following new people. I'm engaging in conversations with these people. When I get a new follow, I'll say, thanks for the follow. It's nice to be connected with other moms, because I try to connect with a lot of moms of 4, moms who have 4 kids. And I'll be like, oh, we're such a rare breed, and how old are your kids? And I just have a general conversation with them, and eventually it will lead into health and fitness, and that's kind of how my invites go. How about you, Sarah? Oh, Sarah's coming back. How about you, Sarah?
I'm back.
Customer invites for you. So I get
No, that's awesome.
Get invites.
I guess the only thing I can add were, and maybe you said this, I was letting Skeeter out. And I had two vodka and raspberry lemonades. So I'm forgetting. Free group. Anytime I have someone like or comment on a free group, I invite them to be a customer. And then referrals. So I will say, hey, is there anyone you know that might benefit? Send them my name or send them my way. Or I will say, I'll piggyback the two, or you could become a coach and they could be your customer. Mm-hmm. So that's another coach invite. But yeah, just free groups were big for me last month. I'm getting free customers, and then referrals is the only other thing I can think of.
So you can count free groups as invites, everyone. I fully believe that is perfectly okay, because that is part of the forming process. You're providing free value, and that's what we try to do, is we provide value. That's building trust. And free groups are a great resource for that.
And I don't know how other people do it, but if they're going to be in my free group, they have to be a customer. They have to be a free customer of mine or someone on my team.
Mm-hmm.
I have done a couple free groups where they're just free for all and open to whoever, but I guess you could do it that way. If they're not working with someone, like this 2B holding group we have going on, they have to become a customer to be put in that holding group.
Right.
So I'm already inviting for that.
Right. Yeah. No, and I've done it both ways, Sarah, and I found that the people that don't sign up as a free customer are less invested. They're just like, yeah, I'll do it. But if they're willing to take the 30 seconds it is to sign up as a free customer, there's some level of buy-in or investment, like, okay. And then they feel some connection, like that's my coach, my free coach who's working with me. I know that's how I felt when Wendy invited me. I did the whole process of signing up as a free customer, and I felt like she was my coach, so there is something to be said about that.
And the truth is, happened to me, I haven't required that, and then they go and purchase something and they're not a customer and I lose out on the commission.
Right.
Or they go buy it online.
Right.
Through Amazon, so I've lost people in commission that way because I haven't required it.
Yeah.
Carl, are you waving your hand? Do you have a question?
I've done that.
Oh, you've done
that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, it's frustrating because it's not just that initial income, it's potential residual. But even if they do it, and let's say they buy it off Amazon, which has happened to me, you can still get them back on board with you. But yeah, it's a bummer. So that's a good point. Follow-ups, huge. You might fill out this column and this one and this one at the same time, because let's say I invite someone, let's say I have a conversation with somebody and they're like, yeah, give me more information. Or I'll say, hey, you should join one of my virtual boot camps. And they'll say, yeah, give me more information. That counts as an invite. I give them the information, and let's say I don't hear back from them for a week, and I set it in my connection builder, which is my follow-up system. So it always pops up on the day that I need to follow up with them, and I'll say, hey, I just wanted to follow up with you because we're going to be closing enrollment by X date. Is it something you still want to talk about? I really want to help you reach your goals, or whatever. That counts as another invite. So someone I count follow-ups as invites. Now, I don't know what other coaches do, but I count it because I'm inviting them and I'm doing my due diligence. That follow-up is important. And you might follow up with them 3-4 times before they, or I might say, can you tell me, what are your questions? What questions do you have about it? Or what are some reservations you might have? Usually it's money, price, and then I break it down for them and talk to them about that. And that really seems to help. So those follow-ups are huge. You can't just do invites, guys. You will never get Success Club points by just doing initial invites. The follow-ups are where it's at, completely 100%. I mean, I would say like 5% of my Success Club points come from initial invites. 95% come from follow-ups. So you have to, because you're still creating rapport, especially if it's a stranger that you're meeting online. You're still creating trust. And quite frankly, people are busy. They forget, they forget about stuff. They don't think about Beachbody as much as we do. So make sure that you have some sort of follow-up system. Some coaches do paper and pencil. I just find it more difficult you'll lose people, but that's totally up to you. Anything else about that, Sarah? Did I cover that?
I was just going to say, when I went to that Tony Robbins event, he said on average, a person needs to hear something 16 times before they'll even consider it. On average. So if you're following up twice and they've said no twice, or maybe you're getting crickets or they've ignored you, just wait a week and follow up again. I mean, and you can always, and we'll share, it might be helpful if we share that follow-up script in the group.
Yeah.
Because there are the 7 different follow-ups. And I like the last one that says, it sounds like, or it looks like this is not a good time. Do you want me to take you off my follow-up list? Or I can check you next month or whatever. I like that one too. Are you pulling that up?
Yeah, here's a tip. Have them all open when you're I always have these open. Instagram scripts. Here's one of the follow-up. This one has 7 follow-ups.
Yes, that's the one I use, the 7. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So these are some follow-ups you can do. You want to put it in your own language, of course, and you might want to personalize them, but it gives you a guideline. And when I'm working, oh my gosh, we're already ending in 10 minutes, geez. And when I'm working, I have all my tabs open because, okay, they're interested in, well, this is just general ordering. If they're interested in, I have 80-day obsession up here somewhere. And I have to-be mindset scripts and stuff like that. So I'm always pulling it. So I have all the information at my fingertips that I can copy, paste, personalize, and send. That's kind of how I do it. But yeah, we can share this in the group. It's, again, tracking. Oh, is that where I'm on? I lost it. Tracking is, oh, shoot. Sorry, I X'd out of it. There we are. And tracking is super huge. New conversations, super simple. Obviously, you know how to do new conversations. If you're not working off of a like page, it's just really, new conversations could even be from people who like a post. Birthdays, don't forget about people's birthdays. That's on Facebook. That's a really easy way to start a conversation with someone. Hey, I saw you on my newsfeed. That's your birthday. Happy birthday. What do you have fun planned? Blah, 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 just starting a conversation. Or you might see a post or they're showing up on your newsfeed a lot and you see something interesting on their page about something fun they did with their kids. Send them a message, hey, tell me about that place you went to with your son that looked really cool, or I don't know, you know what I mean? So conversations, that's a new conversation. Super easy, not stressful. It doesn't have to be fitness related. It might be if they posted something about fitness. If they put something on their Facebook page where they're like, oh, I really need to do X, Y, Z. I'm ready to change my life. You message that person. I got a solution for you. But so that one's an easy one. Anything to add about that one, Sarah? Or?
Nope, you nailed it. I was just going to say what you hit on is when you were giving your examples, you never even mentioned Beachbody. I think sometimes people think, oh, I have to talk about health and fitness. You don't. Just it's actually fun. I had fun going through my old college friends on Facebook and just reaching out and saying, oh my gosh, it's been 20 years. Right. What are you up to? What's new? And starting that, and they might not message back. That's okay.
Yeah.
And face-to-face conversations too. Mm-hmm. Whenever you're meeting someone, I think I forget about that sometimes. But whenever you're meeting someone, a new neighbor, or you have someone new that you're introduced to, and you have a conversation with them, count that, incorporate that, put them in your tracking system. Right. So I met like 3 new people up north this past weekend. I put their names in my tracking system because I didn't talk about Beachbody, but I put them in my tracking system.
Yep.
So
and you really have to go in.
Don't forget about the face-to-face.
You really have to go in with no real ulterior motive. You really have to go in with a genuine desire to connect. And that can be hard because we all are truly growing our businesses, but you have to really be okay with it never turning out to be anything. But you still, making those relationships, because sometimes you might build a relationship right now and 2 years down the road, I have customers that I've been talking to for 4 years and just building relationship with them. And then 3 years later, they're ordering or whatever. Sometimes it takes a while. You just have to kind of be patient and let things evolve. But you still always want to be directive and ask lots of questions and things like that. Okay, so that covers that. We got to hustle because we've got like 7 minutes left. All right, we want to talk about schedule. And if you're on this call, obviously you want to grow your business. And with that, you absolutely have to have a plan for June, July, for the following month. We, like I said, Sarah and I have 2 calls scheduled in June for the coach coffee talk. And the dates we have, we can post our schedule in June or in the group. You don't have to follow our schedule, but you definitely need to have a schedule. You need to have a date, a start date for your challenge groups, so that when you're talking to someone, oh, I've got one starting this week, then it also helps guide your social media as well. If you're doing free groups, which we highly recommend, have a start date for that, and generally recommend having that at the end of the month, because then at the end of the month, that's also at the end of the free group, you might then invite them to a challenge group after that, and that would spill into your following month for your next month's challenge group. So the dates we have are June 10th and June 24th for the Coach Coffee Talks. And June 10th was going to be a typical coffee talk, but then the June 24th one is the tail end of Summit, and we thought it'd be kind of cool to do some live videos of us at Summit and like kind of share what coach life is like, and then maybe end it on the 24th with some real like info for them.
And that would be cool because we'll all be together.
Mm-hmm. So it'd be cool to like show
and talk about
this is what a live workout looks like. Oh, look, we're at this event together as a team. We're having a great time. Now we're at this training. Look at this. Now we're at the closing ceremony where they're stuff. It's really cool. Like this, it's really cool. So there's a lot of fun things I think we could share. And then,
or even like Sarah, I was thinking they bring in amazing speakers that target mindset, and even to go live and have some of those speakers in that Coach Coffee Talk throughout that 4 days, I think would be awesome.
I agree. So we can,
but you got to get people in the coffee talk if you want them to join the team. So that's where your inviting comes in.
Yep. And you guys should have a lot if you're doing 7 a week, at least 7 a week. Make that your ground zero. I mean, your baseline. It has to be at least 7. You can do more. Make that, and you guys will have people on that call if you do that. And then just make sure you have a start date for your challenge group. And then Sarah and I were talking about a lifting free group because Lift 4 is coming out at the end. We would do the lift group at the end of the free lift group at the end of June. I need to get the details about Lift 4, exactly when it's released and when we get access and stuff like that. But I thought that would be really cool to do that. So I think the last thing we want to talk about is we want to be able, part of being in this group, and you have to hit the targets to stay in the group. So part of being in the group is that we would do call it like a round table, which means it's not like a structured call where we're teaching, but it would be a time for us to go around and say what's working, what's not working. I don't know if it would be a weekly thing, bi-weekly thing. I'm not sure what everyone's feelings are about that. And we would also have to probably do a poll about what time, what day of the week would work best. And I think that will really help with accountability and things like that. So we can kind of talk about that. I don't know. We can maybe do a poll in the group and see what everyone feels.
And then the only other thing we talked about is once a week. So we will have a question and answer.
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
Maybe we'll have a post up later in the week that said, what questions are you having about the business? And then one of us, and it doesn't have to be Sarah or I, you guys have knowledge, one of us go live and answer questions that have been posted or answer them live. And we might not even have the answers, but we can brainstorm. We can brainstorm to get beyond obstacles and struggles or create new ideas. So that was the only other piece. It's really simple. Check in on the spreadsheet. I'll post a calendar. I just put in the message that if it's helpful, I'll post the Google Calendar with events and dates, and then people can hop in, or you can do your own. I like that we use teamwork to run groups together. For me, that's saved me this year. So whoever wants to continue to do that, like run a free group together, let's do it.
I love running free groups together. So yeah, and just so you guys know, like this is how Rachel popped diamonds, because people followed this, did what she's supposed to do, and all of a sudden they were rank advancing. And I'm telling you guys, you do the work, it will happen. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see everyone start advancing their business. It's gonna be really fun. All right, we're about to get kicked off, so I have the recording. We'll post more information in the group with like the follow-up script, you know, the live Q&A, but this is supposed to be super simple, action-oriented group where we are just doing the stuff and we're supporting each other to get the stuff done. So, are we good? All good, awesome. All right, I'm gonna go take care of the